Now on CoastTV News.
Tariffs threaten to drive up costs on key home building materials.
Paying more in South Bethany, property owners could face a higher bill.
Limiting cell phone distractions in schools. A new bill hopes to establish district-wide rules.
We are in store for more soaking showers for later tonight. Details on that coming right up.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
Tariffs on housing materials. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with continued coverage of tariffs and the businesses feeling the strain here on the coast.
Over the past week, we've talked to people who sell everything from coffee to appliances, furniture, even video games, all feeling at least some impact from newly imposed tariffs. As CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us, a new home improvement project could take a sledgehammer to your savings.
Working on a countertop. For Henlopen Countertops owner Jennifer Janowski, she says building materials were already expensive before tariffs, and now the prices are just going up.
I think it could have a big impact. So the reason it is because if the contractors' prices are high, then of course they have to pass it on to the customers. And so there's no way not to pass it on, because it's just a huge expense.
She says a lot of the quality stones that make up their counters are naturally made in Brazil, Italy, and other places overseas, and even the tools they use often come from China.
People will see the pricing and say, all right, now maybe it's not the best time to remodel our home because of the fact that it's too expensive.
Another point Henlopen Countertops brought up is that a counter isn't always a luxury purchase, and sometimes there's water damage or other issues that make a replacement necessary for comfortable living. And Mike Dominguez with Jack Lingo Realtor says it's too soon to tell how tariffs will impact the housing industry as a whole.
I do know construction costs have been up, housing costs have been up, the cost of materials is, a little bit crazy.
The cost of new housing is already high, and tariffs on building materials could drive that up more. And now improvements to the home you already own are getting more expensive too. We spoke with several lumber companies like American Cedar and the Nuttall Lumber Company, and they say in terms of lumber, they won't be super hurt by tariffs because most of their lumber is imported from Canada, but their steel beams and their metals from China, that's a different story, and those will feel the tariff effect. In Sussex County, Emma Aiken, CoastTV News.
Americans feel uneasy about the economy. According to a closely watched monthly survey from the University of Michigan, the pessimism driven in part by consumer expectations that inflation will push higher by the end of the year.
When prices go up, sort of by definition, people buy less. And when they buy less and there's less demand, and you see this decline in consumer and investor sentiment.
The University of Michigan, which conducted its consumer sentiment interviews prior to President Trump's announcement of a 90-day pause on some tariffs, say there's also expectation unemployment will rise as well. We're taking a live look into the Dover area, and you can't see past the first one of those big old drops on the lens there. We're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. Paul, I think it's raining.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's the rumor. That's the word on the street. And no matter what camera we use, I'm going to a different camera just for variety's sake. You can't see in Laurel either, okay? And this is how it's going to play out for all of Friday. I had one of our reporters ask me this, Charlie and Maddie. They said, it's raining and it's Friday. I said, is it better on Monday or is it better on Friday? Maybe we'll have a poll question on that one day, but not today. Today is just rainy, period. Laurel, 48 degrees. Winds are out of the northwest at 13 miles per hour. We're looking for overcast conditions, cloudy skies, fog. All that you see right now will continue for the rest of the evening and for the rest of the overnight. Rainfall so far, we've had over half an inch for us in Dover, as well as Seaford, just shy of a half inch in Delmar, a fourth of an inch for us in Slaughter Beach, as well as Dagsboro, and a third of an inch, and still climbing in Lewis. Please keep in mind, we're still tracking more rain, and here's the rain we're tracking right now. Right now, we're looking at spotty showers, moderate to light showers right now, but nothing that's severe, and we were concerned about embedded thunderstorms. But I've been talking about how sluggish these storm systems have been moving. Well, this low pressure system is a lazy low. It's just slow walking its way over to the east. So we'll talk more about how that lazy low is going to affect the rest of your night and maybe even the rest of your weekend. But for right now, back to you, Maddie.
Thank you. Most South Bethany taxpayers, they're going to pay more. At today's council meeting, council technically decreased its tax rate. But follow me on this one. Due to recent assessments, countywide, people will be paying more. The town says a majority of homeowners will pay an extra $100 to $500 on their bills. And town leaders say they'll be able to collect around 50% more tax revenue than before.
50% seems a little excessive, but I know the community has a lot of needs, so, it's going to hurt some people. Most of these people can afford it, but, there are a lot of needs. We have a lot of flooding, a lot of, roads that need to be raised.
South Bethany Council decided to keep the rental tax rate, though, the same. That is 8%.
A controversial development with years of debate has been shot down by the Supreme Court of Delaware. The decision puts an end to the proposed Stillwater Harbor. It was a 120-home development on 57 acres off of River Road in Oak Orchard. The project was ultimately denied by the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission in June 2023. The commission determined that the development would pose safety risks regarding flooding in the area. Stonemark Ventures appealed the denial of the preliminary plans in October 2023, but the attorney of the developer claimed the rejection was based on concerns that weren't spelled out in the Delaware State Code. This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know who should have the final say on projects.
Let's take a look at the results so far. Take a look at your screen. 70% say landowners, though 18% say neighbors, 9% say elected officials, 3% say courts. And in this case specifically, the developer does own that land, so they could choose to do something else with it. Just this proposal specifically has been denied.
And that's a key point of information there. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that. Go to coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app.
Tonight, we are learning more details from state police on a Seaford shooting that left one man dead Tuesday night. Police identified 32-year-old Rehem Frisbee as the man who was shot near Clarence Street. DSP says the 32-year-old was shot by an unknown number of people. They are still looking into what happened exactly.
An aerial sightseeing tour of the New York City skyline ended in tragedy Thursday when a helicopter crashed into the Hudson River, killing all 6 people on board. As Laura Aguirre explains, it's what some witnessed heard that could be a possible clue into what happened. First, though, we must warn you, some of the viewers, you might find the following images a little disturbing.
I see like a helicopter disintegrate in midair, and then I heard a loud sound.
This witness, like many living along the Hudson River, watched as the tourist helicopter plummeted into the water, killing the pilot, along with Siemens executive Agustin Escobar, his wife, and 3 children.
Oh my gosh!
Many captured video moments telling a terrifying tale. A former Federal Aviation Administration safety inspector, who's also a former mechanic on the helicopter model involved, says this crash leaves him stunned.
I've never seen anything like this at all. You can see that the main rotor is separated from the helicopter, and it turned upside down. The tail boom is also missing.
FAA records show that the Bell Long Ranger model had an airworthiness certificate valid through 2029, and that federal authorities had previously investigated the company operating the helo for their involvement in 2 prior safety incidents, one in 2013, another in 2015. Maintenance records are not made public, and the NTSB restricts what companies can disclose during an ongoing investigation, but witness accounts may give some experts a clue.
I was walking, but I heard this really loud noise.
As soon as I heard the noise, I came out.
That would be indicative of the main rotor hitting the tail boom and breaking that tail boom off and separating the rotor from the system.
Where there are hidden defects in the metals and the materials and the blades in the shaft, right out of the manufacturer, that sort of sat in this aircraft like a ticking time bomb until through fatigue and weather it failed.
All possibilities that will be examined closely by the FAA and NTSB. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
A federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to provide her with daily updates on how the government is working to secure the return of a Maryland man mistakenly deported last month. Kilmar Abrego Garcia was deported to El Salvador March 15th, despite a court order. In a hearing Friday, his attorney said the Justice Department is stonewalling.
The government refused to provide any of those pieces of information that the judge ordered them to provide. They even refused to answer the question about what they've done so far, and they even refused to answer the question about where Kilmer Abrego Garcia is today.
The federal judge says the court-ordered daily updates must come in the form of a sworn statement from an individual with personal knowledge of the situation.
Bay Bridge traffic alert closures to plan ahead for next week.
And thanks to the abundance of showers, we are expecting rainy roads for the rest of the evening.
Southern Delaware pride shines this weekend, so stay tuned for your cool things to do.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
From festivals to fundraisers, even the Easter Bunny, there's a little something for everybody this weekend.
Coast TV's Christina DiRoberta says all your cool things to do.
Do you say lower, slower Delaware or slower, lower Delaware? Well, no matter what you say, it's time to celebrate the best of Southern Delaware, and you can head to Salted Vines Vineyard this Sunday for the Lower Slower Festival. You can expect live music, food trucks, shopping, and of course, plenty of wine. In Rehoboth Beach, Women's Plus Fest runs all weekend long. It's hosted by Camp Rehoboth. Entertainment, sports, comedy, and music are all on the agenda for this 4-day event. Indian River alumni will want to head to the Frankfurt Volunteer Fire Company Saturday night for the 10th annual Beef and Brew fundraiser. There's going to be all-you-can-eat food, a cornhole competition, plus the graduating class with the most members in attendance will win a trophy. The Lewis Tulip celebration continues with walking tours this weekend. History in Bloom offers 3 tours on Saturday morning and afternoon. And the Easter Bunny is making a few stops across the coast ahead of Easter next Sunday. The Easter Festival will be at Sussex Central High School Saturday from 11 to 4, and there's also an Easter scavenger hunt in downtown Milford Saturday morning. For event details, tickets, and more, just head over to coasttv.com and click on Cool Things to Do.
It's a bit cloudy, dreary, rainy, kind of soggy. All those things apply now, and they will apply later tonight, and they will apply going into tomorrow. But maybe we'll get a break by the time Sunday rolls around. Our gutter helmet camera, ocean view, 47 degrees, dew point temperature 46. Look for the scattered showers to stick around all night long as we hover in the mid to upper 40s. This is a live look at radar. Showers are moving mainly from the south to the north right now at approximately 15 to 20 miles per hour. Just hit and miss spot showers for right now. Ocean Pines is getting a little bit of a heavier shower right now. It's a bit waterlogged along Highway 113 as well as Highway 50 going towards West Ocean City. Now, we are seeing more in the way of embedded cells beginning to make its way into portions of Cambridge right now. We have a couple of isolated cells going through Winona and Nanticoke that's beginning to ease its way towards the most western portions of the Delmarva Peninsula. So we'll keep a close eye on that just in case the storm really decides to act up. But for the most part, we're looking at it basically generating more heavier showers over towards the Washington, D.C. area. We're in the 40s, not much in the way of thermodynamic energy to power these storms, but we are in the midst of the spring season. The winds right now knifing its way out of the northeast at approximately 21 mile per hour wind gust in Millsboro, but we do have a small craft advisory. Now, this is a downgrade from the gale wind watch we had yesterday. So yesterday we were watching out for 35 mile per hour winds along the same real estate. Now it's been downgraded to about 25 mile per hour winds, and we're still holding at that same 25 mile per hour concern from Ocean City down towards Chincoteague, and we're looking for that same concern for us in Cambridge as well. So, and that'll last until Saturday. Tonight, we drop to the mid to low 40s with showers. Now, our best chance of rain kicks in for us tonight, but then we'll have another round possibly on Tuesday. So after we shake off this rain today and early tomorrow morning, then we're going to get a break from the rain, but it's still going to stay cloudy and overcast and maybe even a little bit of drizzle. So we'll expect this rain to at least last until 8 o'clock for Saturday morning. Then by 10 o'clock, although it'll look like it's going to rain, it should stop raining. Drizzle, light rain, light sprinkles, that's possible. But out-and-out showers like we're going to experience late tonight, that should come to a conclusion for Saturday going into Sunday. Sunday, we'll get a break and see things clear up by 6 o'clock. But we're going to have to hold off on that. From Ocean Pines down to Snow Hill and Pocomoke City, we start off this evening, scattered showers. Scattered showers for Saturday morning, then it clears out. We have to wait until Sunday at about 6 o'clock here as well. Temperatures will then climb into the 50s. The amount of rain has backed off. We were initially concerned with 1, maybe even 2 inches of rain from earlier runs. The latest run indicating 1/4 of an inch where you see the green to even 3/4 to 1/2 an inch where you see the blue. We're not seeing any 1-inch rain. Now, we see a counterclockwise spin right here. You see this? I'm going to step off camera so you can see this a little better. That's the low pressure system that's expected to create that opportunity for rain. This center of activity has moved even more out to deeper waters, which is why our chances of rain diminish. But we are looking for drizzle across the Delmarva Peninsula. Saturday, scattered showers. Sunday, cloudy, but no additional rain. The 5-day temp will peak at about 70 on Monday, 65 on Tuesday, 57 on Wednesday. Now, let's talk about Wednesday. We look at it clearing out pretty quickly for us. So for tonight, steady rain. Ends late, 41. Tomorrow, damp and raw, spotty shower, light shower, sprinkles, drizzle, winds east. Then for Sunday, improving. We'll get a itty bitty peak of some sunshine by late afternoon, early evening hours for Sunday. Finally, here's a look at your extended forecast. Passover, a bit clammy cold, 43, 60 on Palm Sunday, 70 on Monday, tax day 65. And as we go into Easter weekend, we'll start warming back up again.
Let's take a live look into the Bay Bridge. There's no road work happening right now, but come Sunday, plan for some closures. Weather permitting, starting Sunday, there are planned lane closures from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. The time then changes for the next 3 days. Take a look at the screen here, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Then on Thursday, crews will work from 10 p.m. to 5 p.m. Two-way traffic will operate on the westbound span during these eastbound span closures.
The city of Salisbury wants your help to guide the city's next comprehensive plan. Later this month, the public is welcome to attend focus groups. Each session is taking place from 6 to 8 at Fire Station 16 on Cypress Street. The first is Tuesday, April 29th, and the topic there is land use, municipal growth, and economic development.
Curbing cell phone use with a new bill. One Delaware principal weighs in on legislative action. Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 5. Whether it's texting, scrolling, or snapping a quick selfie, phones in schools, they've become a familiar sight. Senate Bill 106 would require all public and charter schools in Delaware to implement a clear cell phone policy that limits phone use in the classroom. The bill's sponsor says the goal is to reduce distractions and improve student engagement. If approved, schools would need to create rules by August 1st. One high school principal says cell phone use is hurting students' ability to learn.
And cell phones have really changed the name of the game for the students and for the staff, but it can be a very distracting piece of equipment.
While some critics call the bill government overreach, the sponsor says local districts will have the freedom to create their own policy.
All eyes on the wet weekend as we take a live look into Laurel. One more check on the forecast after this. The countdown is on for another expectant goat mama at Worcester Tech. Oh, there they are. These are the goats that are giving ag students there a new way to learn animal health. This is a live stream, by the way. The goats Faith and Samantha. Faith already had her babies, and Samantha is expected to give birth as early as tomorrow. I know we got to move forward. I just want to keep looking at the goats, though.
They're adorable. A lot of us celebrate our pets every day, but doing so is especially important today because it is National Pet Day. This is an important one, though. The day is dedicated to the pets in need, and it's a great reminder to go adopt a furry friend at one of our local shelters.
Would goats be considered pets? Yes. Okay, well then you could adopt a goat too, I guess. Tunnel razor camera in Lewis, 48 degrees, cloudy skies staying persistent with light rain and precipitation. By the way, our umbrella winner, Barbara Harding of Georgetown. You could use that umbrella for tonight and for tomorrow morning. Keep up with your forecast. We've already updated your weather line. Sponsored by the law offices of Bruckstedt, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Listen, Saturday, we'll have some rain early, but then it'll stop by midday. But it's just not going to be a pleasant feeling day, but it'll dry out by then. Sunday's going to feel a lot better.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.